Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. Boy, did I ruffle some feathers. Check this out. All right guys, so last night during our head-to-head with all of these big boy launchers, I ruffled a few feathers, and I knew when I dropped the video that I was gonna ruffle a few feathers, and let me explain why. Grimberg in particular, they have rounds that are specifically bore matched to the launcher. I know this, everybody knows this. Byrna has rounds that are specifically bore matched to the Byrna, which are ironically almost exactly, and I do mean almost exactly the same as the Grimbergs. The Pepperball, it doesn't give a crap. It'll fire whatever you put through it, which is actually really cool. But what I want to do tonight, we're going to take the big heavy hitters here, okay? So we're going to leave my beloved salt supply back here. We're going to leave the HDR 68 out of it, and we are just going to go with the heavy hitters here. Now, look, everybody out there that has watched this channel for long enough knows two things. You know, two things. Number one, I am going to give you a pure and unvarnished review of all of these. If I see things I like, you find out about it. If I see things I don't like, you find out about it. And that's going to be the way it is forever. This has nothing to do with sales. It has nothing to do on the outside with what I carry in my shop. It's truth. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. The other thing that you guys definitely know about me is that I love the launchers that I have on this show. If there's a launcher that I have had issues with, and I really haven't had any issues with launchers, but if there was, I would tell you, look, there's an issue here. Maybe it can be resolved, maybe it can't, but I would bring that to you guys. That is my job. That is my passion. That is what I'm going to do. Today, in order to put a little bit of this to rest. Now, I know if any of you guys are posting comments down here in the comment section, if you post a comment with a link, the comment is automatically deleted by our friends over at YouTube. This has nothing to do with me. So if you put a link into a comment, it's going to be removed. Don't try that. Just don't do it. Don't do it. If you want to chat down there and say, look, there's a video that shows this, you're welcome to do that, but you can't put links down there. They just won't let it happen. That's both for my safety and the safety of the channel because, well, y'all know what ends up happening, right? I mean, somebody will put a link down there that links to something bad and then your channel goes away. So that's what it is with links down there. I will never, ever, ever, ever delete a comment. And I'm talking about even the most ignorant of ones. I had a guy one time that said when I wave at you guys at the beginning of this that it was a Hitler salute. Okay, so look, I will never delete a comment, even if they are ignorant. So don't worry about that. Comments will never be deleted. They will never be removed. So if you guys put a comment down there, just don't put a link. It ain't going to go. That's the way it is. Now, a couple of things. Off camera, okay, I can tell you that all three of these launchers, when fired at the 50 to 60 foot mark, are capable of punching a 10-inch circle without a problem. In fact, quite easily, to be honest with you. It just depends on the rounds that you're using. So today, we are going to test with the Grimberg JULs. Now, guys, if you've never seen these rounds before, and there's just no way to describe them. All right. Now, one thing about this, and I am going to point out, the bag says, and I'm going to show Stumpy this real quick, 0.684. Now, you don't get a lot more specific than that, and they're bore matched, but they say 8 grams. Now, I have weighed Grimberg rounds before, and I have seen slight and tiny variations. So I want to show you this on, hopefully Stumpy is getting a picture of this down here. So right now we are set to 0, and that one's got a little nub on it, so I'm going to get that off of there. In fact, you know what? We're not going to use that round. That's got a little nub on it. All right, because I want this to be completely fair. All right, weighing in at 7.68 grams. You guys are seeing that, okay? Okay, so I'm going to pull this off. We're going to let it 0. Checking it. 7.71 grams. All right. So there are minor variations. I mean, obviously in manufacturing, you're going to see some of that because there's no way to know exactly how much steel's going in there versus rubber. It can happen, but 7.69 grams. So as you guys can see, it's going to vary a little bit. There we go. So 7.69. Let's go to this one. 7.72. Again. 7.72. So you get the idea, right? So when it comes to rounds like this, these are freaking heavy and like rock hard. There's no flex to these rounds at all. So when you fire these things, what you hit gets damaged. Now, there are people out there that have tested these for accuracy in a vice grip. All right. I don't believe in that test. When you're watching my channel, one of the things I'm going to show you is if you are sitting somewhere and you have to pull it up real quick, this is what you're doing. You're not going, excuse me for a minute, I'm going to put this in a vice grip. Stand still for just a second here. Just this up. Hang on a second, I got to zero it out. Okay, we're zeroed. Okay, you ready? Okay, hold still, a little to the right. That's not reality, okay? So we're not going to test these in a vice grip. We're not going to, I want to test these from a live fire. Now, that being said, last night I was standing from a fired position. I was in a standing position, and I had the tripod between my legs. So I was kind of cocked aside like this. So it wasn't exactly stable, right? It's more kind of like what you would see in the field if you were freaking out and you had to actually fire. That being said, it wouldn't have mattered. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you why it wouldn't have mattered. But today, we're going to test from about 40 feet away. All right, so we're going to bring it in about 20 feet, 40 feet away, freestanding, and let's see if we're going to actually get some shots on Scully out there. Now, the only variable in this is we're going to use the Grimberg JULs. You know what? I am tempted to bring out the salt supply, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do a totally separate video on that because I'm thinking that a heavier round might actually drop that 4-inch lift that you see on this thing when you're firing it. But we'll get to that at another point in time because I do want to test that in the salt supply. I want to verify that we're not going to breach any tolerances inside the launcher before we do it though. So, all right, let's get out to the range. Let me show you what range we're at and let's see what we can do. Here we go. Okay, now we are back on our range. As you can see, I've got the exact same setup that we had down there before. And as you can see from Stumpy's feed right there, you're aimed right at the skulls. Now, we're going to, instead of going back the entire 60 feet, we're going to move back to 40 feet. Now, let me go ahead. We're going to pace this off because I want to make absolutely sure that everybody understands. By the way, I'm maintaining dual cameras so you guys can see I'm not magically performing these shots. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're going to come forward 2. 40 feet is right at, hang on a second here. Backing you up right there. Okay, so you're at 40 feet. Now, we're going to start this one. Hang on, let me move you over to the side again so you can get a good shot. We're going to start this off, and we're going to use our Byrna LE. Once again, guys, remember we're running the ridiculously awesome JUL rounds in this thing. Fresh CO2 cartridge, and we're going to give it a shot. All right, so we're going to put it on safe. We're going to pull the trigger. We're going to put it on fire. Now, guys, I'm going to try once again to keep this in frame. No promises. We're going for Scully in the middle. Here we go. Guys, it feels like I'm hitting him. I'm not going to lie to you. Hang on a second here. Glasses off. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't see the rounds. Well, number one, because they're black. But let's take a look and see what we're getting here. All right. Okay. This is a pretty clear result, guys. You're seeing right where I'm hitting right here. Clearly, we're getting an accuracy right in that area. That's where we're going. And I was actually aiming dead center of his temple, so right there. That's not bad. That's not bad. We're still 40 feet away, and I am holding this myself. So let's go ahead. Let's go to the Pepperball TRP next. All right, here we go. Same deal. Same cartridges, excuse me, same rounds and everything else. Here we go. We're going for Scully right in the middle. Now, one thing, guys, I'll tell you, and I could be wrong here, but I can tell you that that feels, unless it's just that it's a heavier launcher. Hold on a second here. Okay. Unless it just feels, because it's a heavier launcher, it feels like the Byrna has more oomph behind each round. Now, once again, we have not dialed up the TRP. That's a video that's coming up. Oh, wow. Okay, I can't see the rounds. You guys got to watch Stumpy. But clearly, as you can see, we drilled Stumpy 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like every round hit Stumpy. And I mean all the way back, guys. Or excuse me, Scully here. Every single round. Okay, so let me turn him around. I knew the accuracy was hot on these things. I knew that. Like I said, it doesn't feel like it's got the ump. Then again, that could be the round, plus the fact that it wasn't turned all the way up. We're going to get to that one full power. Now, let's go for the Grimberg Gavle. Now, guys, all right, look. I'm going to tell you this outright, okay? You guys know we just talked about the fact that I love the launchers. There's nothing like this thing. This is a cannon. You know, the rest of these are self-defense launchers. This is a cannon. There's no other way to describe it. So I'm curious to see what we get here. Here we go. All right, so we're going to charge up the launcher by twisting. There we go. You hear click. And let's give this a shot. Same Scully, right in the middle. Here we go. I think we got him. Let's go for the Scully on the left. Guys, the sheer amount of power, glasses off, that is coming off that thing. Somebody asked me the other day if I was wearing ear protection. Oh, God. Yeah, I probably should be. That thing is brutal. Okay. Dude, we drilled Scully. I mean, drilled Scully on that one. And guys, these rounds are going quite literally almost all the way through on every shot. Now, that does not surprise me because these are the lighter rounds, or the lighter Scullys, but yeah, they're definitely going on, and they're going through my board too. So when they're hitting, they're going all the way through the back. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to get you a shot of this. So those rounds are going all the way through the backboard, and as you can see, they're denting the plywood that's behind the backboard. So you're going through the plywood at the back of the board, and you're denting the plywood back here. That is a ridiculous amount of power. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. All right, now look. You know what? No. Let's go back in the office. Here we go. One more thing before we do, and I want to show you this. I took Stumpy back in here, but something just occurred to me that I don't think people really think about. So, something that had occurred to me here, guys. We were talking about accuracy and at this range and how this is actually hitting in center mass, okay? Center mass is defined as hitting anywhere on the inside of the body in the chest region from the stomach up to the neck. This is your center mass, okay? So if you're using one of these at extreme distance, and we're just going to take the Byrna here, and let's just say hypothetically you are using pepper rounds in this, which you should be. Okay, so you're using pepper rounds in this. Now, let's say we do have a distance like this, okay? Now, I want to get Stumpy. Let me make sure that Stumpy is nice and zoomed in here because there's something I want you to see. There we go. Let's raise him up. I'm going to put him right on this. Let's hope I don't destroy Stumpy here, guys. All right. Let me show you what your attacker sees. So if that person is coming at you, you've got your weapon ready to go, all right? Observe. That is what your attacker is seeing. Get the point? Yeah. Let's go in the office. So what did we learn, guys? All right, listen. If you take a hit from any of these three at 40 feet, unless you are Godzilla, you're going down. It's not a joke. If you take a hit, or let's say 5 hits from any of these running pepper rounds, buddy, you better be wearing mop gear because there's no way you're going to continue coming. And if you do, it ain't going to be straightforward. You're going to hit the ground. There's no way around it. Now, there are a couple of rounds we did not test. Grimberg has got a pepper round that actually has like metal, like flakes in it or whatever to cause a great dispersion, and they're freaking heavy. If you get hit with one of those from within 20 feet, you're breaking ribs. It's not a joke. I mean, the fact that the ball hits you is gonna suck enough, and then it explodes in gas on top of it. Guys, these are not a joke. And by the way, what you just saw is how you respond to a threat. If you feel that your life is in danger and you have to pull your less than lethal launcher, you don't fire one round and say, gee, are we done? No, you pull it out and you fire every round in the magazine. That is how you deal with a threat. You put the threat down, eliminate the threat, and get away. That's the whole concept here, okay? But as you can see, all three of these are very, 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 very capable of taking care of any situation you'd ever be in. And by the way, after firing that Grimberg JUL, I don't think Salt Supply would have a problem with it. So I'm going to be testing the Grimberg JULs in the Salt Supplies here shortly, and then we'll probably do a whole other video on that. But this video, guys, is specifically for the people out there that are wondering if these are capable of defending you at the 60-foot range. They are. At the 40-foot range, you freaking saw at 40-foot range. And on the inside of 20, they're beasts. They are beasts. They really are. All of them are accurate. All of them are capable of hitting center mass. And one of them is capable of breaking your ribs. Okay, let's just say that. No. I think I may have found, okay, I may be letting a little cat out of the bag here. I think I found a person that's willing to take a pepper round for the channel. And I was talking to one of the manufacturers of these launchers, and I won't tell you who it was, and I told him, listen, I'm concerned about hitting somebody intentionally with one of these pepper rounds. I know what they're capable of doing. I know the velocity that's coming out. I know what kind of impact I'm seeing on the other end. And Scully is an analog. It tells you every time you fire through Scully, you're going through a certain amount of layers of plastic, okay? So if you're printed in that 20 to 25% infill density, you're going through almost 80 layers to get through the back side of it if you go all the way through Scully. It's that dense. That's exactly what it's designed to do. I am concerned shooting a human being with this. Well, here's the deal. Just because, you know, as a volunteer, I mean, for self-defense, I'm obviously zero concern at all. Have at it. But so the guy suggested, well, why don't we put a book or plate armor under his chest and he could take the pepper round? Yes, if you want to test the efficacy of the pepper, that's great. But if you want to test the impact of the round, it's not a fair test. If you want to test the impact of the round exactly how it would be in the field, you got to have somebody raw, taking it straight on the way they were supposed to be. And if you really want the efficacy of the test, you got to hit them with everything you got. And that's just rude. I mean, there's no need. I mean, that's seriously going to injure somebody. Well, that's what these are designed for. They're designed to defend you guys. Do not think for a moment that any of these will not stop an attacker. They absolutely will. So, guys, thank you for watching. I wanted to put all this stuff to bed. These rounds are freaking great. No matter what launcher you've got, honestly, I'm going to talk to Grimberg about carrying these in my shop because I've never found a round that is that accurate and that heavy, just like out of the bag. So I really want to start carrying these guys for kinetic rounds for sure. And I'll look into getting some of their pepper rounds too, because these things just blow up if you're firing it in the Gavle or the TRP. You saw it. So hopefully I can get some heavier duty rounds for the bigger boys here. We'll see. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. I will be out of town next week from Monday through Friday. I'll be back on Friday. Any orders on the website, I will communicate with you guys throughout the week, and then I will be processing orders on Friday. Now, back away from the keyboard for a second. Just take your hands back like this. Just move it aside. Get away from the mouse. I just got off the phone with Humorex. The first pallet of PDPs has arrived, and they are sitting in Florida. I am being told by next week we will have PDPs in stock. You guys know that the second that happens, I will let you know. And as per promised, I will absolutely be modding the magazine springs before they go out at no extra cost, because it's the way they should have been designed. It really is. Guys, once again, thanks for watching. If you stayed this long, you got to hear the good news. So I'm curious to see who stayed and who heard it. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.